Not about spaceships.
Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show.
It's not about spaceships.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Jason Moore from MakingStarWars.net, and today I got Rob, the Sketchcraft, and I got Jesse, who's always looking over his shoulder, so don't try to sneak up on him. He'll get you.
Jesse's got a real healthy collection of death metal figures back there, which I'm a big fan of. So, like, big Craig Capullo fan.
That is my. I actually have all the incentive covers 1 through 7 from Capullo.
Awesome. Yeah. I know Jay's like, who?
Yeah, I'm like, I know Star Wars. I know everything about Star Wars, and my brain has no more room.
Let me tell you, if Greg Capullo drew a Star Wars comic, it would be the highest selling Star Wars comic of the year.
Hell yeah.
Just letting you know right now.
Well, I got a good one from up there too. It's the Robin King from Ryan Brown.
What's his name? Greg what?
Greg Capullo.
Greg Capullo.
I'd party with Greg. Oh, that's whenever I say something.
Check out his Instagram. He plays heavy metal on his Instagram.
Yeah. What was this? What is the chimes, bro? Like, I'm like pigs in space. Like,
it's my ring.
Oh, okay.
My ring doorbell.
No, it's an actual like Green Lantern style ring.
It's like the most elegant ghost has entered the room, right?
Like Snoke. It's like Snoke's black pimp ring.
Hello. Are you here?
Or the butler from DuckTales. He's a ghost now. So, like,
dude, I almost watched DuckTales last night.
Please do, dude. I keep telling people, like, they're like, oh, no. It is brilliant.
Because I want to watch it.
Yeah, the new one's pretty good. Yeah,
it's either going to be brilliant or I'm going to be like, every time I don't agree with you, I'll be like, Rob, DuckTales. Just saying.
No, it's brilliant. Yeah, it really is. I'm not like a guy who I hate telling people to watch stuff because I like my own things, and I'm like, I don't know, guys, but DuckTales is one of those things I'm like, this really is truly a show where the whole family can watch, and the older you are, the more you get. Sure. But it's super good. Yeah. All right, guys, let's talk Star Wars.
Yeah, let's talk Star Wars. No, I always like it when something is multidimensional, like Star Wars or Pee-wee's Playhouse. You can watch it as
Pee-wee's Christmas Special is the best single episode of all time. Like
easily one of the best Christmas things to ever exist. Cher and Christmas at the same time.
Larry Fishburne as a cowboy.
Yeah,
and yeah, but it's also got the it's got Frankie. Was it Annette Funicello?
Ricky Avalon.
Yeah. It's got everyone in that episode, man.
These are not like the long wooden boards we used to ride. I know it was like surfing on a coffee table.
Back to the Beach is my birthday movie, by the way. That's the one I put
the
on.
Original Pee-wee's the original Rex, so this is all related, you guys. Okay.
Oh yeah, Flight of the Navigator, right?
Well, no, he's Rex and Star Tours.
Oh yeah, but that was a goof off the one in Flight of the Navigator because he was playing the robot.
It was
How does that happen? Same guy? Yeah. Really?
Yeah, it was coincidental. But it was he was definitely like, he was Pee-wee Herman's like the biggest thing ever at the time. And like,
I got that photo archives book that came in from the first trilogy. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to crack that puppy open and take some photos. And I'm hoping there's some Star Tours in there somewhere. Because there's always some, like, there is some THX 1138 stuff. There is some side things in there. So when I saw that, I was like, all right, I told my wife, I'm like, look, it's either our savings or this book. And I really
I have two questions for you. I have two questions for you, Rob. Does George Lucas talk about what he wanted to happen on Howard the Duck? And what would Filoni do?
What would Filoni do? Naked ducks. His ducks in a hot tub is kind of an LA thing, I think. I think we could do more of that. Yeah,
I'd kill him.
Yeah, I'd kill him. I mean, like, I killed Tim Robbins.
So
whoa,
shit.
Whoa.
No, so today I went down to hang out with some friends that make movies. They make like this. And then they made
Oh, okay. I thought you were doing math. I'm like, Jesse Pinkman?
no. I didn't keep going out with her.
You mean the wind-up camera, like in the old Hollywood days?
Yeah,
I thought you were like spooning. It's the same move, bro.
People who make movies.
It is the same move.
Green spotting? No. So, anyways, So I'm like, okay, guys, gals, creatures, whatever you guys are, being nondescript. I am going to go look at the set, see what's going on over there. And they're like, I'm like, well, I'm going to go look. All right. It might be interesting to me. And as I'm going over, I'm coming from a different direction than I normally go, right? Hit this 4-way intersection, and coming at me is Ewan McGregor's car.
Woo!
The car
It's an unmistakable car. You can't mix that up.
No, you can't fucking miss it.
It's like the Munsters mobile in a way, right? Like you don't go, oh, I wonder if that was the Munsters mobile I saw. Like,
yeah.
Do you think Ewan McGregor pulls up one day next to Rob Zombie and they have like a car off?
Dracula.
Yeah. Right. And then Ewan puts in 4 Dracula demos and we're like, oh shit, son.
Oh, damn, here we go.
Yeah. No, so anyways, I get my adrenaline goes, oh shit. I'm like that guy. I'm like that I'm doing that. And then I see it's not Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I go, okay. And I'm all, I wonder if it's just like an assistant or the mechanic.
My future dream job.
I'm like, are they bringing it to Ewan right now? Is that how this works? I don't know. I mean, he's like a movie star, but he's also that Gen X, not a movie star type. So I have I'm like, what is this? And
he's an apathetic movie star. Right?
Well, as I'm driving by, I'm like, this is my little Prius, and that fucking monster mobile, whatever the hell. I don't know what kind of car it is. Still no one's told me, which surprises me. But as I'm driving by, I look at the person. They don't look at me at all. They're just like doing their thing, and it looks just fucking like Frank Oz. Like I want to say I'm in the realm of an 80 to 90% positive on it.
Well, maybe he was taking it for a spin.
That's what I'm throwing out there. It's like if you see a fucking Munster style roadster, is Obi-Wan Kenobi driving it one day, and then you think you see Frank Oz, who's Yoda, driving it a couple days later, you're like, that could very well be the case.
That or this is the weakest Mike Zero like podcast ever. Like,
right? I know. As
where you're just like, I'll just make up a bunch of but it is hard to disprove it. I guess he may have.
No, like, that's what I sent. What's his name? $3 Theater. He did a show last night, and I watched it because he was covering Frank Oz complaining about the Muppets not being involved and how they don't like to rock and roll Frank Oz style. You know what I mean?
So I worked with this comic company called Ape Entertainment for a while. They were based out of San Diego, and they did their own indie publishing, but they were doing some licensing books. Like they did the DreamWorks Kung Fu Panda and stuff for a while. So they were moving into licensing at the end, I think, to get traction because the company was going under. But they were pushing to get the Goonies license. And I told them, look, my dream is just to draw Chunks' tall tales. Right? It's just I just want to illustrate every one of Chunk's fucking crazy stories.
That is exactly what I said. I literally told somebody, I feel like Chunk lying about Michael Jackson asking to use his bathroom right now.
Yeah, and I just believe there's like 20 other or 30 other of those fucking stories, right?
Yeah,
yet to be told.
I like literally out loud to myself, but I like pulled over to text, and I'm like, this literally, you just saw Frank Oz probably. like you need to be real about this because it's easy to fall into like self-doubt, imposter syndrome kind of shit about,
that's Ewan's car. It's a Rolls Royce.
It's a Rolls Royce. Oh, and is it? Do we know it's Ewan's car for sure? Because
it's a Rolls Canardly.
No,
Rolls one hill, Canardly down the next.
I looked it up, and he bought it for $120,000, and he's been driving it around.
So,
he's like, shut up, my wife, man. Like, what are you doing, Thrawn?
So, yeah, once again, not willing to die on a hill for it. Not willing to go, I know for sure Yoda's in this. I'm not saying for sure. it's Frank Oz driving Ewan's car, but it definitely painted a picture. If I'm presumptuous, that he's filming Yoda stuff on Kenobi, and Ewan's like, it's Frank fucking Oz. You want to use my car? It's cool. I'll just buy another
Exactly.
one. I mean, if you
so
crash it-
two questions though, right? Two questions. One, did you see today's Frank Oz, or were you seeing Frank Oz from the Blues Brothers, like the 80s Frank Oz?
No, definitely Frank Oz today.
Spies like us, Frank Oz.
Yeah,
No,
right.
And for the record, I watched Frank Oz years ago now, though, but directing Bowfinger's Big Thing at the time, but which later became Bowfinger, and I saw it for like months. So like when I do see him, he's an older Frank Oz, my association is that man, not Blues Brothers or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
I definitely like go there,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was my recognition was actually Long Beach 20 years ago. That was what hit me when I was like, what the fuck, kind of in that moment. And so
And the other question was, given the news yesterday that he said Disney won't let him touch the Muppets, did Ewan go, I'll let you touch a Muppet, come to the set? Like, you can touch all the Muppets.
Maybe that's what it is they just give him a job.
He's like, I just have a need. I can't do his voice because I don't have that. He has that deep, you know. But he's like, I just have the need to put my hand in a Muppet. Like I just
really had that need to put my hand on a Muppet.
Put your hand. I can't. I got to work on that.
Yeah,
I can do the Fozzie Wah. That I can do. No problem.
And when I put his hand up there.
Kermit, put your hand up. I can't. Oh God, no! Don't put your hand up there. Oh no! Oh no!
Feels good when touch my prostate. He does.
Oh, guys, come on!
Yeah.
He has this certain affect that pitch in there that you're only born with. You'll blow your vocals out if you try to fake it. I think that's why it's very hard to like replicate those voices. Even the modern Fozzies, they're good, but they're not quite there, you know?
Yeah. But anyways, back to the first part of the story was, I was on, I was hanging out in the chat of $3 Theater last night. They were talking about Star Wars here and there. And I was just like, oh, here's what I know about that. And it was, it was a good time, but they were covering Yoda they were covering Frank Oz. And and he's like, I don't know if he's doing anything with Star Wars anymore. And I was like, well, he's doing the VR Tales from Galaxy's Edge game, but I don't know if he's in the second episode, but he's in the first one. So that was really, really recently, I think. I mean, I don't know when he recorded, but it's pretty recent. And then, about 12 hours later, I see homeboy, I'm pretty sure, driving an old timey car. It's definitely the same car. So if it's not Frank Oz, either Ewan McGregor decided to get a PA that looks like Frank Oz and is an elder statesman, or he has I don't know, maybe it's this mechanic. It looks like Frank Oz, but it looks like
pull
Frank
up
Oz.
to him because it's the driver's side's facing you, right? Because it's a British car. So you pull up to him and you go, hey, prophylactic soiled. And he goes, fuck you, wards.
Yeah. But I mean, he's anyways, I'm pretty sure Frank Oz can shit talk Disney and still work for them for the rest of his life if they want.
He was the lawyer in Knives Out, right?
Yes.
I want to remember, right at the very end.
Yeah. Knives Out's just a Ryan Johnson joint for another studio, right? It wasn't for Disney, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But boy, that was definitely unexpected. And like I said, I was like, do we talk about it? But I'm like, how do I not talk? I'm like, I wasn't going to talk about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to end up talking about it 10 minutes in either way. So, because I mean,
all right, Chunk, this is like the time Little Green Monsters multiplied. You fed them after midnight.
Yeah. And, but
it's like that time Eisner came to your house to use the bathroom.
that car is unmistakable, and it was definitely the same car in the same neighborhood, that where they filmed. So I'm gonna go with it being pretty much it. It's also coincidentally where Janet from Three's Company was arrested years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
for weed?
For that was a DUI of some
Oh,
kind.
DUI.
Yeah.
I thought I was smoking weed or something. Whatever.
Maybe she was smoking a joint. I think she like blew a checkpoint or something, but I don't know. Who
It's like in the
knows?
70s, we never stopped at lights.
Yeah. Joyce
What are
DeWitt.
those?
Somebody needs to put Joyce DeWitt in Star Wars because why the fuck not? You know. But
It's a very
anyways,
Favreau move.
Yeah. So anyway, let me see what how do I do this? So John Conroe and the Demon Accords. Is that our band? Is that our Vegas act? I don't know. But anyways, on a side note, so I don't have it on me. Somebody in the comments of the Indiana Jones video I did a few days ago about the sets at Pinewood said, "Oh, you should really talk about the underwater set." And I was like,
The one in New York or like for the movie?
for Indiana Jones was the context of the post.
Okay.
And I reached out to Pinewood sources, but I couldn't talk to anybody this week who was working on the movie yet. Who's working on the indie crew, but people on crews at Pinewood, and I had it confirmed that there is a water stage set up, and there's also like a big tank at Pinewood all the time for doing water stuff, and it is being used. But what I haven't got confirmed yet is that it's being used for Indiana Jones. But looking at what Indiana Jones is doing over there, I think it's highly likely, and that's why I'm bringing it up. So it's definitely worth mentioning. So we got Frank Oz probably, and actually before you move on the Yoda topic, what do you guys, just pretend today didn't happen? What do you guys think the odds of Yoda showing up are, anyways, in the Kenobi series?
It would have to. I think it would happen at least once. And if they didn't have Frank Oz doing it in a puppet, they'd probably do it in a hologram form of some way.
Yeah. What do you think, Rob?
I think Man's Gold knows no limits. He's like, old, I got an aging Harrison Ford, bring it on. I got water sets, bring it on. Like,
no, I'm talking about Yoda. So I went back to the Yoda topic.
Sorry, I was like stuck on like, what could he be? I was just like, what could he be? Is it Atlantis or is it something really lame? Like, he just busts a pipe in a room and then it's like, you got to escape the room, So my mind was just like, I wonder what scene it could be. So wait, Yoda, look, I don't know about Yoda.
Of Yoda being in the Kenobi show.
The odds of Yoda being as a Force Ghost, I could see. I mean, like, there's that whole thing where
not dead yet.
Oh no, but communicating, right? Like,
Yeah.
When I say Force Ghost, I meant like the Force communication. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my takeaway is, if the Boba rumors are true, we have a bunch of people from the Boba universe in the Boba series. Makes sense.
Bobaverse.
The Bobaverse. When you look over at the Ahsoka-verse, you have a bunch of people from the Ahsoka-verse. So when you get over to the Kenobi one, Yoda is like, that's his main man.
That's kind of a given.
And he's alive. And then you have Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn, and that one seems to be a given as well, but not.
Frank Oz is playing Plo Koon. Yeah.
So I have to get in your head and fuck with it.
Yeah, I requested that personally. And Oz was like, on my way.
He likes to rub the top of Addy Mundi's head.
Yeah.
Kia di Mundi. Is it Kia di?
Kia di Mundi, tell me a story.
I haven't said that fucking name since 2002. So like,
I heard that there was actually like a lot of turmoil in Lucasfilm's story group meetings when one day when they were having a big meeting around the time of Force Awakens, Filoni opened up a cabinet that hadn't been opened in a long time, and out jumped Rick McCallum's slave, and then he
Rick
took
Moranis.
him, and he took him and he made him wear Ki-Adi-Mundi's skull cap, and whenever like he wants to sway a meeting one day, one way or the other, while someone else is talking and trying to give their counter argument, he strokes the dome like this and just looks at them. like
And that's, by the way, most people don't know, that's the name of Ki-Adi's future autobiography, Strokes the Dome.
Try and tell
yeah.
that joke. You can't while I'm doing this.
Different strokes the drum.
Yeah.
I'm aching for a massage right now. So you're getting me all psyched up. That's what I want.
Kiadi's nuts.
Is it one or me?
They're gonna sell that at Galaxy's Edge. You can buy Kiadi's nuts.
Kiadi's nuts.
What was the guy with the long head, with the long neck and the little head? Because I used to think that was Plo Koon.
Yrel Poof.
That's my favorite Jedi of all time. Yrel Poof.
Yeah.
I actually did back in 2001 when he first showed up. I did this like concept art that ended up on like the Force.net of like it was these clone troopers, which they hadn't been designed yet. So I made them. They strikingly, you kind of figure out what they would look like, kind of like look more like the Episode 3 troopers, but they're in the center. And then I had like the lightsaber like pointing at them off camera at them. And then behind them is Yrel Poof with two sabers in his long neck, and it's like all raining. But I was like, Yrel Poof could get that like, that like
Get that head going like Elastic
You'll never know
Man.
which way I'm gonna go. Yeah, like Plastic Man. You don't want to fight Plastic Man. He's a nightmare.
I want to see Yrel Poof holding hands with the Kaminoan, and they're like kissing actually, and then they look over at you, and then they're like, what? You got a problem with interracial sex? Or something like that.
Dating,
Interspecies sex? Yeah, and you're like, whoa! I thought you guys were the same thing. I had no idea. I'm sorry. You guys pretty much are the same exact idea. But yeah. The Yrel Poof is. What were they doing?
Frank Oz, Yrel Poof. I called it. You heard it here first. This guy.
Yeah, it'll probably be on We Got This covered tomorrow. Yrel Poof, the Disney Plus series.
Well, that's my side job. How'd you know? Like, after this, I go right to We Got This covered. I just take all my crazy fucking stupid jokes and turn them into stories. Right.
Yeah.
Poofer.
Yeah,
Poofer.
Yoda. I mean, Yoda has shown up in what Rebels now, Episode 8. Like, I don't feel like he's too sexy to be off limits, and I would even say if it wasn't Frank Oz, it would probably still be likely to happen. You know what I mean? Because like Frank, I don't know if Frank Oz is doing the majority of the puppeteering.
You think Frank Oz is shacking up at Ewan's place though? Like maybe he's in town, doesn't want to get a hotel. There's COVID.
They're sharing a B&B
Ewan
together.
He's like, I got the beach house, and Ewan's like, no, Frank, do not cook it up like you did last time, allegedly. Like, don't. I know you and Kato Caitlin love to party, like, and you're gonna be back there getting Mickey D's.
It's like Velvet Goldmine,
Bringing all the hoes home. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Turns out Dan Harmon and Frank Oz and Kato Caitlin are the kings of con of Burbank.
The Kings of Con of Burbank.
Kings of Con.
Yeah, and then they add of Burbank because
Burbank.
Kings of Con sounds great. Just kind of add that extra line.
I like to imagine every time Frank Oz does something that's like risky or whatever, he's like mixing up his drugs. He's like, this is how Belushi went out. Every single time. This is what really killed Belushi.
If it wasn't for this, he'd be in Ghostbusters. Think about that.
I would have liked that.
That would have been the greatest anti-drug ad of the 80s. Guess what killed your buddy?
This stuff right here.
Shooting movies.
Because I had Pee-wee on the brain. Remember Pee-wee's anti-crack commercial?
Yes.
Don't try crack, kids.
Don't try crack, kids.
It's not good.
What?
It's crazy. Nolan says Yoda and Kenobi held to the yes.
That's all they're going to take away from this. And when it doesn't happen, they're going to be like, Ward sucks.
God damn, this guy is in that podcast. They promised to shit.
Surprisingly, I haven't even really considered it until today. And it wasn't something that was like on my brain. And right now, like my brain is computing what things could mean. And it was just like, oh, well, if there's any truth to the flashback Clone Wars rumors, you could have Yoda in that without it even being a present tense.
Okay, so question. Do you think they risk, if Yoda is in it, do you think Obi-Wan risks using the Force internet to talk to him? Or does he have to physically go to Dagobah to talk to him? So
I don't know.
You know what I mean? You can't risk the
Get his
because you know
call
that
traced.
the Empire NRA, the Empire what is it? The
NSA?
CIA NSA. Thank you. What's the difference? You know, like they just like this guy is behind me. They just these are all the Force texts that go on between Ewan and like Ashoka's in there going, "You fucking dicks." Yeah. And these the red ones are the Sith texts, and the blue ones are the Jedi.
As of now, isn't really Yoda the only character who's been kind of in everything that's been Star Wars, other than maybe Resistance? I think
He's not in the Force Awakens.
His voice
but he was in the sequel trilogy. Not
Got me
every
on that one.
Yeah, and he's in episode 8. But yeah,
Is he in Rise? I don't remember that one.
his
I
voice.
think just the voices.
Okay. All right.
Get the fuck up, Ray! It's time to fight. Come on,
You doing on floors?
let's do
Call
it.
it is.
Come on. Get up, baby. Come on, let's do it, baby.
Sounds like
Let's do it,
Mickey. Get up, you lazy son of a.
You're a punk. You're a punk. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just like Frank, they won't let you do Muppets anymore because you don't sound like it anymore. You sound crazy.
Yeah, but I sound. Yeah, but look, man, if you're gonna tell the Henson Company that the Muppets don't sound right, you're about 25 years too late for that. You know. I mean, Muppet Christmas Carol, I love it, but the Muppets are all half of them are like, all right, just I've gotten over it, but it was jarring.
Yeah, no, and about the Muppets, he's not wrong at all. Like it is completely not working in the Disney environment. So, like a lot of things can work. Like you could make Wall-E in the Disney environment, but you can't really do a huge ensemble with improvised satire in that environment. I just don't think it's going to work. They have to let them go, run free, and then probably wrangle it in the edit phase. That's what they should probably be doing.
You know what it reminds me of, to make an analogy, is modern pro wrestling where everything has a script. Like they write people's dialogue and they have to say it. But old pro wrestling was like it's a traveling show where these guys are learning to do improv on the spot and then working out what works and doesn't work and then kind of filtering that out as they go along.
It's like Kirby
And the
Enthusiasm with like, here's the outline, follow the outline and fill in the blanks.
Right, or if you've ever seen like a band that did a lot of local shows or local spots, and then they get a contract and they're nothing like the band. You remember?
Yeah.
They're this.
Oh yeah,
it's the same thing, and they need to just stop with the like. Let me write a joke and the Muppet will say it. Nonsense.
Corn was like that when I was living in Fresno because they were from Bakersfield, so they'd always show up and play shows in Fresno, and yeah, they were kind of almost a different band.
Bakersfield. That is, I believe, of Kenny Bakersfield origin. Kenny Baker colonized it in the yes.
And then I think he went on to breed Ewoks too in another state.
Yeah,
it's where they dump all of his illegitimate children.
Oh no!
People don't know Kenny Baker is a.
It's a vacation spot. It's called Wet Fur.
You guys didn't know that Kenny Baker fathered Corn? He's everybody in Corn's real father.
I thought you said porn for a minute. I'm like, he's that old? Like,
Kenny Baker, the father of porn.
He's like Jackie Daytona. He's the guy who invented porn, like in the 16th century. All right, okay, I believe it. Kenny got around, man. People don't know it. Go look it up.
Yeah,
don't go do the research.
Research, bro. All right. Dude, this new chat is just, I don't fucking get it. Okay, Johannes asked, what about Qui-Gon? Yeah, so I inquired about the Qui-Gon, figuring it was kind of like the given, the one that would be the easiest. And when I inquired, he hadn't done anything. There hadn't been any Liam Neeson stuff that yet they knew of. Now, throwing it out there, when you look at what they did with Luke, they're probably gonna do that again, where they made the fake concept art and did all of the stuff, and then film them in a small room with a small crew, if they were to do it. Because in most respects, from what we appear or think we know of the Force and how things work, and what the rules for Qui-Gon have been so far, Qui-Gon can't manifest, doesn't know how. He's not there. He didn't learn it. Maybe, and we don't know what the rule is. If you didn't learn it before you died, can you do it after? In the Clone Wars, he manifests himself visually on Mortis, but Mortis is like a huge amplifier for the Force, which allowed him to do that there. It was like he was juicing on the Force and was able to like do it. Outside of Mortis, it seems unlikely. But we do have Kenobi, who we know his homework, his only job besides making sure Luke Skywalker doesn't get eaten by Womp Rats and Tusken Raiders, is that he needs to keep that boy alive, and then he needs to learn how to become a blue Force ghost. So with that in mind, I can see them. I can see a story I wouldn't like, or that I wouldn't prefer, I should say, where a big Rebel Alliance issue comes up. We need a Jedi for this one. And then Vader comes in after that, and it's like more of a Rebel Alliance issue. You can do that, but you could also, I don't know if that's what they would do.
Or how about this? Is since Qui-Gon is the one who kind of, I guess, discovered how to talk through the Force and be after the Force, you know? What they possibly could do is he doesn't have a cameo per se, but maybe he's like Kenobi's version of Al from Quantum Leap. So he's always in his head, and he kind of talks to his ghost throughout the series, possibly. Maybe not every episode, but
Kenobi,
a little bit.
Are you jacking off again? That would happen a lot, because that's all
Kenobi,
he's doing out there.
Kenobi gets into a real bad
for a
situation,
second there.
and he just has to.
When you said Al, I was like, oh, Alf. Oh, Al, not Alf. Okay. All right. Oh, oof.
Remember when the dad from Alf was smoking crack?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, he had a problem with that. Yeah.
That was crazy. Is he alive?
No, he passed. Because he was also the coffee shop owner in Friends.
Oh, I could get why you would need to smoke crack to cope with that. Those people. Anyways,
Jason loves Friends so much.
Hey, I've never watched that show.
Yeah. That
well,
theme song?
I always thought, Qui-Gon probably had like some illegitimate children, maybe a daughter. You could do a series called Qui-Gon Girl,
Qui-Gon Girl?
Qui-Gon Girl. It's a Sithy. It's about Qui-Gon Solani, his Sithy-like daughter,
Sith in the City.
Sith in the City. She's really into Sith fashion. Yeah.
Her and her sisters, they go out every night.
Yeah.
And if Fincher is going to direct a Star Wars, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, then we'll get a Nine Inch Nails track, Trent Reznor soundtrack.
I could have seen that having happened under George Lucas. I don't think he would do. I don't know if he would do it in that current environment. I don't know a lot about him, but that would be cool though.
So tomorrow on your way to work, you pull up next to Liam Neeson's now driving Ewan's car, and you're like, okay, this is just fucking ridiculous. No one's gonna believe this.
If it happens at all, if it happens, I'm not saying anything. I'm not telling
all right.
anybody.
And you're like, you're calling him chunk because of his weight. No, I'm not. He just lies.
Nope. You know what? If it happens, I'm not going to tell you guys what happened. I'm just going to do the truffle shuffle on camera. And
he pulls up. I dare you to report it, Wards.
Yeah, let's hear it this time. Keep your mouth shut.
Disney's like, do you not think we don't have $1 billion to troll you?
Yeah, where do you think all that galactic cruise ship money is going?
Yeah, man, buying bots.
This only goes. We're filming this, but it just goes to Chapek's office now. Like it's just for him.
All right. So, hey, Star Wars Santa. Star Wars Santa says, "Woot,
Woot woot.
woot, woot." Which
How is Woot not a Jedi? If Yariel Poof is and by the way, Poof would be a great way to have like a character like Nightcrawler, but instead of fart, like instead of teleporting, he farts. So instead of bamfing, he poofs.
I'm pretty sure saying his last name probably gets us demonetized.
Poof.
It probably does. Yeah. Yeah. So I was gonna say was there was some Boba news. Yeah, let me see if I could throw it up like Chunk, and then everybody else on the stream starts throwing up too. Okay, so this is my favorite Star Wars website, the Best Spin Bulletin. It's the best Bespin. Get it?
Ooh.
All right. Book of Boba Fett details, plots, armor. He writes armor like he's a fancy boy. He's not a fancy boy, Bespin.
He's from the UK. You
Yeah,
just
are you-
outed yourself.
Are you a
He
fancy
doxed him.
lad? Are you a fancy? He's a fancy lad. And surprise appearances by Bespin Bulletin from Texas, US of A.
Yeah, everything's
Nice.
bigger in Texas.
According to Star Wars Newsnet, Boba Fett will be on a quest of revenge and sporting new amour in the Book of Boba Fett. You fancy, pretentious Star Wars guy. You may remember last week, Star Wars Newsnet released what they claim to be official concept art of Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, along with 2 rendered images of set pictures they were shown. Star Wars Newsnet pointed out in this new Fett report that they aren't as confident on this information as last week's, as they haven't seen any of this firsthand, but do trust the source. And then right here, you have some guys that are classic mainstays, but if they came out today, probably most of them couldn't get arrested. But I think they're going to be really cool in the series, though. Because they'd be like,
Bosk is like, I don't need shoes.
Dengar's like, kill me. Star Wars Newsnet are reporting that Boba Fett will be on a revenge mission in the series, which that's been like the huge assumption since the thing was released. I mean, when it's called book, but anyways, this has been a theory some fans have been speculating for some time, but according to Star Wars Newsnet, it is the case. They mention that Fett is looking for individuals that have wronged him in the past, including other bounty hunters.
Wait, scroll back up again to the picture. So those are Boska's little baby arms, like Deadpool arms, right there.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
what it's supposed to be?
Yeah, those are his arms. I'm guessing that they're inferring that they're in a state of growing back after having been cut off in the comic books.
Mhm.
So, it's like a lizard when you pull its tail off and it grows back. And so they're going to form into some better hands. I have an article up on MakingStarWars.net that some diehard people might be into, that his suit is actually from Doctor Who. This
Really?
suit right here. And it's a weird actual like space suit of some kind. And when you wear it, you are freezing. You're very cold. It sounds crazy, but it's supposedly like really good for wearing for a costume. Yeah. But and I have a picture of the Doctor Who episode with it in it. So because it was just a costume over at Elstree Studios, I want to say.
Mhm.
So, anyways, there's been some whispers of bounty hunters seen in The Empire Strikes Back making an appearance, in particular Bosk. Personally, I'd love to see Bosk back in action along with Dengar and crew. Tamara Morrison did previously state there would be flashbacks in the series, so perhaps we'll get to see other bounty hunters in those sequences. I think he means acid flashbacks, because where he's like, what? Dragons! Great dragons. Lastly, Star Wars News that mentioned that Boba Fett will be sporting new armor in the series. This is the meat of it right here. Boba Fett will have new armor. They note that it may be unexpected given his brand new paint job towards the end of The Mandalorian Season 2, but say it could be a smart move for a marketing perspective, which I totally agree with. They also speculate that perhaps it'll keep the flashback scene showing Boba in his original attire as opposed to his current, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah, see, I agree with that last part the most, and honestly. The idea that you give him multiple sets of armor so that way you know where the fuck you are. If it's... Did I lose Rob?
Yeah, he wasn't there. I thought he went somewhere for a minute.
Oh, sorry, Rob. I lost you.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah. So anyways, I wish the report was a little bit more concrete. Like when you say new armor, do you mean new Mandalorian armor with some different, like some chrome, like he has some Django shit going on? Or do you mean he looks like a completely different person?
Got a red arm.
Got a red arm. You probably didn't notice me with my red arm. Oh no, we didn't notice you because your face is all fucked up now. Like you got throwing up, acid threw up on your face or something. But
That's what I
yeah,
had to do to survive. Tell me what else you wouldn't do to survive. I'd do it too.
do you guys know what he had to do to survive? Do you guys know how he got out?
I think it was play a couple of trivial games, right? A couple of trivia.
it's worse. He had to suck all of the tentacles and lull them to sleep by sucking them to sleep, and it's a whole episode.
Oh man, that's some chapped lips, bro.
It's gonna be pretty hot.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
All right, let me get rid of that. All right. So, okay, what did you do, people? What does Santa think? Santa says, yes, Boba just updated his armor. The repaint is from sometime in the past. So,
I don't know. Maybe you'll get some Beskar on there.
well, the other question, I mean, the moment that's teased at the end of the Mandalorian, what if that's 5 days into the series? Like what if we see the road to the Hutt place, and in the middle of the series that happens? You know what I mean? And then we move on from there. Hey,
Stu had a lurker. He's lurking.
Look,
Come out of there, Rob. I know it's
I'm
you.
Batman. What? What?
afternoon, Mr. Lopez.
It's like my friends are on the other side of the yard, and I'm on the fence going, "I'm here, guys. I can play. Here, throw the ball." And you guys are like, "No, we're gonna go play Nintendo."
Whenever Rob says too much, I hold up my finger and I go. Now you can't hear him.
I have to.
Anna, do you believe the report? Asks Mr. Nike. And then Mr. Nike says, I'm confused. Didn't Boba just update his armor? That makes no sense to me. You know.
Yeah, he just kind of gave it a little once over, I think, more than anything. He didn't really update it.
Yeah,
It's
well, it
too
was like,
clean. It needs the scratches.
yeah, I mean, but there's like no doubt about it that it's going to go through all kinds of like iterations that they'd make it clean to make it dirty by the end. You know what I mean? To make it
He's
like
just picking at his armor. Like, stop picking at your armor, Bob. It's gonna make it
Sorry,
worse.
It's a compulsion.
It's gonna scar.
Yeah, if you pick your scabs on your armor, it's going to scar. Yeah, I mean, it. I don't actually like how it looks. I agree with you, but I don't actually think that that's like going to be how it stays. I also think like I wouldn't be surprised if he loses the black tunic. If he only wears that sometimes. If they change it up a lot. I mean, I don't want to go right to the pessimistic, like, oh, it's all about marketing, you guys. Like, you need Boba Fett with variations to sell more shit. No, for over 20, 30, actually more 40 years, they've been selling Boba Fett bullshit with just him doing weird poses and with rocket packs. Like,
I got a whole shelf full of that shit.
Yeah, you don't really need to do that. It's a timeless thing. Is it an advantage? Sure, but I don't think you need it. But I also do think that you do want to keep what's on screen fresh.
Well, I think the main thing we got when he had the black tunic robe thing underneath his armor is he's not the same size as Jeremy Bullock, and so he's a little thicker. And on screen they haven't made him a new costume yet, so they went with. They had to probably expand a little bit on the actual jacket, even the different one that Timothy Olyphant wore. Of course, it's probably not the same size. And that's for the time being. That they will get through it. He'll just wear some black underneath. Nobody, he'll be in a lot of motion. He won't stand still a lot. People won't question anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, also, I mean, like I wouldn't be surprised too if we see like Jango Fett in it. It would kind of make sense. The question I have is, if they do that, are we going to see deep fake Daniel Logan? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to see that.
Tom Way's hair.
Yeah, I think we'll defake all of them.
How low? What's the lowest age you're gonna go, Rob?
Let's just get Suddenly Seymour with it. You know what I mean?
I like to imagine they're talking to like Daniel Logan, and he's like, it would be cool. I would like to really express some range. I've grown as an actor. I'm an adult now. It's like, we'll deep fake you out of here.
Fire!
Don't worry,
He just
you're gonna
burns things. Yeah. Problem is, Logan's as a bit of a pyromaniac. Like he just lights everything on fire, right?
I will actually be disappointed though if they do stuff with Boba Fett at his age and they don't get Logan. You know, I will be. I think that would be a mistake, and I think that he's, you know, I haven't seen him in anything in a long time. So I can't like say like, oh, he's a great actor or he, you know, he doesn't have acting chops. I actually don't fucking know. But I honestly
been acting at all.
I don't really think that Tamara Morrison is bringing home any Oscars either, though. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's gonna like.
You didn't see Aquaman, man. That was a great movie. He was awesome in that movie.
I mean, he's just like a dude. I mean, I mean that in the best way possible. He's just like an action hero dude, and that's what he needs to be. So I don't think it's like detrimental. I don't feel like I need to cry about Boba Fett's, you know, inner being. I don't think I'm really looking for that in this one. You know, his inner child. Is that what happens? Daniel Logan steps up, he's like, Father.
It's actually Tamura Morrison actually opens up, and
yeah.
Daniel Logan steps out, right? And his inner child. So you get it. It's like he's like the Guyver. He's like the Star Wars Guyver, and inside the young one comes out, and that's how they replicate.
I want a black background with a spotlight on Morrison, and he goes, Father, and then he kneels down like this, and then Daniel Logan steps in, and he's all, where are you, Daddy? Daddy dead, helmet, you know, stuff like that. Let's fucking do it, you guys. Let's get serious. Come on, Robert Rodriguez.
I want Matthew Berry to play Daniel Logan's role.
Oh, did you over deliver Robert Rodriguez? Because that's how you do it right there. You make all of us happy, even us theater kids.
I over-delivered all the amazing food on set. You know, like.
Hey, if we ever do another read with Poe, I got the helmet I can wear.
Oh shit! I actually have those helmets somewhere around here too. Is that the Galaxy's Edge one?
No, this is one of the Black Series ones that first came out. The first one.
Okay.
Jesse's just flexing.
I have that fucking Yoda mask too. You know, that talking Yoda one? I got it from my son, but I couldn't find it. I was trying to find it to wear it on this show to be like, hey, what's up, guys? Frank Oz driving a car.
Oh, like the Wookiee mask?
Yeah, just like that
Chewbacca
one.
If you had reached out and put on the Yoda and looked at him, and he'd be like, "Fucking words, man."
Listen, I don't want anybody to fight.
Get the fuck out of here!
I don't want to start any fights right now. But where was Chewbacca Mom on January 6th? Just wondering.
Giving him a ride.
All right. So, okay. This chat. I'm so sorry, guys. This is so confusing the way this thing works for me. Agreed. They have Qui-Gon in secrecy. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they are in the series, if they were going to try to do that. But actually, you know what though, with Yoda, I wonder if you can do a Luke Skywalker with Yoda. I mean, they weren't able to on The Rise of Skywalker. That one got out. God, there's one story I wish I could tell that I could probably never tell, but it's about Yoda and The Rise of Skywalker. And in 20 years, somebody
don't get yourself in trouble.
needs to ask me about it. In 20 years, I'll tell the story. In 20 years, it'll be
but
fair game.
Think about this, right?
So
Look how
funny.
much when we just watched the Mandalorian, how they kept Luke secret, right? And they named him Plo Koon, all this stuff. And think about all the steps they take. And then the odds that you would pull right up next to Frank Oz, the spoiler guy, right? Pulls right next to Frank Oz. And they're like, oh, why did you drive Ewan's car, Frank? If he had been driving a Volvo, you would have been, I saw Frank Oz on the highway, never thought anything of it. But it's just, what are the odds that Frank Oz drives Ewan's car and then happens to pull right up next to one of the number one spoiler Star Wars dudes there is, or scoopers? Like,
You should have let me be
Someone's getting a tracker on their car.
Yeah, it is not. I have had some.
Ward's coming! Lock it up!
or they
Ward's
breaking bag him. They're like, at night they sent out they sent out a guy to put a tracker in your gas tank so that way they
Exactly.
know where you're at. Just don't
Ward
go
alert,
around here.
Ward alert!
Yeah, ward alert.
Sometimes I do feel like I am living in a simulation. It is
So odd.
it is very strange, you know. Lost Knowledge, how's it going, Lost Knowledge? Can't wait to see Yoda back on screen. I hope I am not misleading you, honestly. And to be clear, I'm not saying it's happening. No source has come forward and said it is, but this might be what gives me that truth. Usually you need a catalyst, you know? If you want a scoop, you need a catalyst. Got to make shit happen. It's
Not
like
the book.
It's like Indiana Jones when he slides into the library on the motorcycle and tells the guy if he wants to be an archaeologist, he has to go out into the field. That's what I do sometimes, and I got lucky twice in real life too. One time, a girl held my hand. So sorry, bye, Rob. Oh wait, hold on, wait. What happened to
The
my
lurker.
It's no better because
Where'd you go? Now you're just gone.
Now I'm gone.
like it doesn't matter.
The three guys trying to podcast.
Jesse looks like our little kid because he's on the short seat. Like, and I'm just like I got this up and now my head so.
No,
This is I don't care, guys. Like,
Yeah.
This is so ridiculous.
There we go.
All right. Well, look,
That's better.
That kind of works.
That's
Kind of
better.
works. Yeah. I feel like we're like the Mount Rushmore of dummies. No offense, dummies, but I'm on it too.
No offense, dummies.
Okay. Ezra saw Yoda on a temple on Lothal. Anakin saw Qui-Gon on Mortis, so I guess they can do it without Force Skype call concept. If he was to go to like the right place. I mean, Luke and Leia did it from the Millennium Falcon and Weather Vane. So you know what I mean? It's magical. You can make it happen if you need to.
But they instantly found them when they did it, right?
it's
Like
true.
Vader knew
It's all
where he
true.
was. So that's what I'm saying. Like for them to talk would give up the location. So
If the writers wants it to happen, is what it comes down to. It's like
Right.
it's like that Stan Lee quote on Who Can Win in a Fight. It's like whoever I say wins. I'm writing it or whatever he said. But I agree with this comment wholeheartedly, Mr. James. I want a Rocky IV style montage of Obi-Wan learning how to be a Force Ghost, complete with 80s hair metal. 1 and 2.
he's out there like with like tree logs and on Hoth, right?
It'll be called the Eternal Ghost. Eternal Ghost lives what's inside you.
He goes to space Russia. Right?
Okay.
You gotta
Bill
catch
says,
a chicken.
whichever host has a Ring doorbell needs to silence that shit. My dog went fucking nuts watching the show last night. Uh-oh.
Tell that
Yep.
to Amazon, bro.
Dude, when his dog bites him, you're gonna be in trouble. Can't wait to see Yoda back on screen. Okay, this thing, it just does whatever it wants. Let's see what happens. Yeah, there's the Ring doorbell one. Yeah, it just puts them at the bottom and then also makes you scroll down to the bottom. Makes no sense.
Sorry, but I live in a highly violent part of town, so that reason things always on.
I live in a highly violent part of town.
Yes.
Are you able to like set it to just being like phone notification?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Plot twist. Frank James says plot twist. Frank Oz is playing Yaddle.
Ooh.
No, that was
He's like,
Filoni's concept art.
he does the Miss Piggy voice though for that one, right? Like,
That's what the concept art was. No one will ever guess if it's
When I first saw Yaddle, I thought they were reusing the female gremlin from Gremlins 2.
with the lipstick on.
bro,
Lipstick.
you know you were attracted to the female grandma. Let's be honest.
What? Why are
I'll
you
be
talking
straight up
about
with
it
you.
first, man? What are you
I will be straight up with both of you guys. I've done worse. All right. Makes sense that we might want to see Yoda in the Kenobi show. Really cool to see Frank Oz taking Ewan's car out for a spin. Yeah.
a little joint?
If it's not the case, like I did like a quick Google, what is it? the Google News thing where you could like figure out like all of the stories from a topic from somebody. And I tried to see where he was or where he is to try to see like, is this even really possible? Because if he's in fucking Scotland, like looking for the Loch Ness monster with a pitchfork or something, then it doesn't matter. It definitely was somebody else, but I couldn't confirm it. But if anybody else sees anything else, I looked at his Twitter too, and he hadn't really made any tweets in the last couple of days. So
I gotta take this, guys.
okay. So, here. Boom. Ooh, actually, Jesse has a lot of background noise going on. Sorry, guys, I didn't notice that. If you guys hear background noise or something like that, let us know, okay? And we will take care of it.
Yeah, when he gets that XLR, it's only gonna get worse. He's got to get some filtering or something.
Well, when he gets the XLR, he'll have the actual microphone that plugs up to his face. I assume.
Oh, you got to be right up on there, right? So,
yeah, he's basically recording too much room.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure which mic he uses. For the record, like I'm of the mindset that if you want to start podcasting and doing anything, do it with your fucking phone recorder. If you have to start there, it doesn't matter what it takes to start, and then to make it better as you can as you go along. But those Yeti microphones, when I signed up for this service, they're like, we recommend using the Yeti microphone, and I'm like, I don't like those microphones. I
tried one and it fucking broke like 1 month in. And I didn't like it. I'm like, it just stopped working. I'm like, fuck this. I got this Envato bit because it comes with this Wavelink like software mixer that works really well. So I'm able to I link the browser and the music and everything up and control the volume, but it works pretty well here. But the voice filtering comes from the NVIDIA broadcast software, which is really the kicker. Like otherwise you'd hear me like pick everything up and knock shit over. And
and you could just run through digital limiter, or you could buy like an actual analog limiter that you plug into, and then you plug that into, and then it goes into your computer, and those will do the trick too. But a couple of times, me and Randy bought new ones, and we turned them up a little bit too high on accident and did our sound check, all like, yeah, we're ready to podcast. And then we went out to dinner and come back. We're like, hey, so what's going on, guys? And like every other syllable was gone from like a 2-hour podcast. You can't mess that up. It happens.
I do wish there was some voice modulation to give you that AM radio sound if your background isn't so great. Like you could mess it up so it sound like it was on crappy AM radio. Like that would be awesome.
Yeah. I actually should get that limiter from Randy's house and use it. But so anyways, Star Wars Santa, my favorite morning Star Wars show, who was a little bit in the afternoon today. I just covered the Boba armor repaint on my channel. Very possible it could be stealth armor, all black, from a former comic story. That would be a cool different iteration of it. A part of me though also kind of feels like and I'm not knocking it, I'm not saying anything's possible, but something tells me if it was like all black, like that would be like in the report, like it's just all black. Like if it was like really easy to like, when it's really easy to convey something without saying a lot, that usually gets out. Captain Phasma, yeah, there's a chrome stormtrooper. It was like easy to like get out. When Death Troopers, there's black stormtroopers. Like Finn, no, like black. You know what I mean? Like that was like a whole thing. No, literally, that was how the conversation went. And and then it was like, and then it was like, are they like normal stormtroopers? Or are they different? And that took a long time. And then it was like, no, they're black with neon green lights, and they had all these crazy cool tricks for the Death Troopers that never got used in the final cut of Rogue One. And I'm hoping the Cassian show we see them come back and those are used. Because they ended up making these cool black stormtroopers with neon lights and throwing them on the beach, on a beach planet and a sand planet, and there just wasn't really any opportunities for them when they got down to it. Like,
yeah, I mean the Rogue Ones, they looked amazing, and then they didn't really do nothing with them, like
and then they used them in Mandalorian, same thing. They're on like they're on a deserty kind of environment. And
it bugs me that they feel they have to come up with new looks every movie, but then they don't do much with them. Right. Wow, you really can't see
Jesse, you're getting a lot of background noise right now. After we cut you off, I was like, oh shit, that's a lot of white noise.
Really now? Still?
Yeah, it's like it's recording your room sound like more than anything.
That's
Yeah,
odd.
just letting you know. We'll try to next time you're on, we'll try to get together a little bit early and try to do like a better sound check. Yeah, yes. So Santa needs to show me how to use this chat thing because it puts them back down at the bottom. It just cycles in the new stuff. I think I'm thinking that there's like ones to talk about. Hey, it cut out. Can we hear you now though? That's a question.
No, I just pushed mute because I want to. Is it still bad? Can you hear stuff?
It's maybe better, but
yeah,
but
it's
not,
slightly
not
better.
It's not 100% though. There's a lot of there's still
Okay.
background noise. But yeah, Craig Sheldon says I love Gremlins 2. I do as well. Like if there was one thing about Gremlins 2, well, number one, the Key and Peele sketch on the pitch for Gremlins 2 is hands down one of the best sketches of all time. If you
That and the
haven't seen
Urkel, like you back that him and that back to back, the Gremlins 2 and the Urkel one.
it,
Like,
in the Urkel one, yeah.
yeah.
It's such a good show, and the Orlando sketch is pretty good too. That was a really good Lando sketch they did. But anyways, yeah, my only the only thing I don't like about Gremlins 2 is it put it into a place where there was no Gremlins 3. You know, and I'm glad that we didn't get like Gremlins going straight up critters.
You know what? Hold on. Now I want to think about that because I like Gremlins 1 more because it's more of like a horror small town story thing.
Yeah.
But I love Gremlins 2 for a completely different reason. And now that I think about it, given how much like commentary, like there's social commentary in Gremlins 2 that's being played. It's jokey, but it's there.
Yeah, it's satire. It's really
about
good.
capitalism and now I'm like, what if Joe Dante had done RoboCop 2?
Yeah.
Right? Like Joe Dante, like at that point in his career, I know it seems cartoony, but if he'd been able to give that R-rated license and he adds in that commentary, he could have pulled out something that, you know, it's never going to be the first RoboCop, but I think he could have done obviously way better than what those 2 sequels ended up being.
I've been surprised that they haven't, you know, on Gremlins, they made the little Gizmo puppet. They made like a giant Gizmo with like a bunch of like crazy articulation and like puppetry. And then they film it so it looks small. So it looks like a highly articulated tiny puppet. Surprised they didn't do that with Grogu. You know, I'm surprised there wasn't like a big Grogu made yet for those close-up shots. But part of its charm is it's sometimes looking kind of bad, but still cute, I think. About the Baby Yoda stuff. Anyways, yeah, I lost Eric Denton's comment. This is too hard for me. I can't do this. I'm going. No.
Quit the show. You guys take over.
You know what? Fucking, you know what? I'll just deep fake it.
Defake the comments. It's all the ones you want.
I'm just gonna start taking that Collider Star Wars show,
Rave reviews.
deep faking us onto it and re-uploading it.
If I deep fake myself, do I look like me? Or does it look weird? Does it look like when they de-age Rob or something and it looks off? Like
I
never
was
deep fake myself. Huh.
I was playing with that. I was even after I did that video, so I was like still in the mood, and I was like throwing us onto stuff to see what it looked like. And it turns out when we are perfect strangers, Balky and Cousin Larry, it doesn't look like us at all.
No, I told you, try it on video game, like Masters of Tarakai or Virtual Fighter. Like, try it on low poly. It's amazing. Because you look like the world's greatest N64 GoldenEye character. It's like if you ever want to see yourself flatly put onto a polygon, it's brilliant. It's one of the... I spent most of my time just doing that last summer. My wife was like, "You're way too into this app." I'm like, "Yeah, this is amazing. I've always wanted to see me in these games."
For whatever reason, I was super exhausted yesterday after doing all that stuff, and but I couldn't stop working, and I worked on Saved by the Bell for about 3 hours, and that's Bell Organa. That
came out good.
That was where I stopped. But
Saved by the Bale.
Saved by the Bale.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. And the only thing that sucks is in my mind's eye, deep faking Chewbacca's face onto Jesse with the big hair is hilarious, and it won't do it. It won't do it. It doesn't work.
Oh,
I wish it worked. I wish I had the skills to make it work, but I just don't. Yeah.
Well, we're not going to hire you at Lucasfilm Ward, so
No.
sorry. You know.
They're not going to be hiring me ever.
Yeah, we're hiring Jet. Jet's doing all the deep fakes now.
he's got it
Kendall.
down.
AKA
Yeah.
Master Coonch. I was laughing my ass off. Was that the bear from the Cleveland show? I don't know. Did he hear Fozzie maybe?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Yeah, nobody does. Oh wow.
What y'all doing in my room?
So Jesse sent a. Oh, sorry, I have this over your face still.
It's all right.
Time out.
Yeah. Anyways, can we go to the Rob doc? Can we get the Rob doc up for a few?
Give me a second. Let me.
Yeah, and then
Let me
Eric
get
Denton
this.
says he wants to see Obi-Wan doing lightsaber exercise montages to the best around in Hearts of Fire.
You're the best around.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever gonna keep you down.
After the show, if they don't do it, you'll definitely have the footage to be able to make it yourself. That is the good news about that.
So I guess that song "You're the Best" was originally going to be in Rocky, but because the soundtrack for Rocky took off, they ended up using it in The Karate Kid.
I'm actually a big fan of the opening Rocky theme to Rocky 2 because it has this like disco vibe to it
That's
that they
Frank-
never bring back.
It's Frank Stallone.
Yeah, but that disco bit in there, like when he's in the ambulance going to the hospital. Yeah, that's my jam. I'm like, this is what I like to. I know
No,
it's so rando, but I'm like,
I think
yeah, it's what I like to wait. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I shared the window, buddy.
Okay, is Rocky 2 the one with Mr. T? Is that Rocky 3?
That's
Rocky
three.
3.
3, okay. All right.
All right. So we were just starting this
They're so
yesterday.
tiny, I can't see them.
So this is where we left off yesterday. Was this concept art that Doug Chang did of the
The old
obviously
Chang,
Gung.
they call it working on the Chang gang.
That's gonna come back to haunt you, Jason. So, and this was their drawing of the set based off that concept art, like how
This
to
is-
build it.
This is George Lucas's tabletop game when he gets real serious about it.
Yeah, Manganiello doesn't have shit on old Georgie. So, what do you think Dennis Muren's doing when he's not motion smoothing my TV?
So dumb.
You were gonna be like, what is he talking about? Well, you go back watch last episode. So yeah, this is like the little mock-up they do to build the set. And so this is the Naboo Swamp set, revised March 25th, 1998. I remember where I was. There's the key art. And so this is cool because, like, where do we start here? Force perspective, background, temples, and shrubs. So force perspective is where they build everything at different scales to give the appearance of depth.
Right.
So this is like them scaling out the different temples and trees and stuff to give that sense of scale. So that whole background plate was a model. It wasn't like a CG effect or a painting or anything.
Right.
Foreground trees, 2 foot tall head sculpts. So these two. So these are 24-inch tall bigatures right here, these heads.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then you can see Smoker. That's the Smoker. That's that's the guy that gives Jason all the tips. That's the guy
Right?
right there.
That's him. He's like, I'm gonna smoke you out. I'm like, okay, tell me what's going on. He's like, okay, can I blow the smoke on you? I'm like, yeah.
Yo,
A lot of
I'm gonna
smoke on set.
You out. My mama said smoke you out.
That got his DMCA'd. Camera POV, so they're showing this is where the camera would see is this concept art. This will
Okay.
be a second setup using components from main set. May have to make larger head. So this is just them trying to get the scale down for this head
Okay.
right there in the shot. And this camera would be on an actual like looks like it's
Dolly?
not a dolly. Yeah, it's not a dolly, is it? Because it's got like a pusher. Like this is actual manually pushed in.
Yeah, it's one of those things you put on a train track and like two guys do like this and then they go real fast.
You know, I don't see the tracks. Oh, I know you're talking about, like in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I
Right?
don't see where Short Round would sit.
Yeah.
And the camera booms down, pushes in slightly, requires smoked room. Camera POV number 1. So, this is for the overhead shot. So, again, like that George has this weird camera like language in the prequels where he likes to see like slowly truck in on a overhead shot, like it's those slow like establishing shots.
It's like that floaty thing.
Yeah, like the Naboo shots where see Naboo.
Yeah, so that would be this here, and then camera 2 would be. So this background, they said, is a Photoshop BG. So this all right here is in camera. I imagine this would be blue or green screen, and they'll just do that extra bit in as a matte painting.
What's
Photoshop.
like? I could be wrong, but I feel like they filmed some of that exterior actually in England though.
Probably as plates to use for the Photoshop for the matte painting background, right?
Or maybe I'm thinking of it. Maybe it was the moment where Natalie Portman does the map moment, and like you see Anakin running out during the reshoot. That might be what I'm thinking. That I actually really don't like that moment in the Phantom Menace because it's unlike most Star Wars things when they go to a VO in that moment. Natalie Portman just sounds like she's doing a car commercial all of a sudden. She's like, then you will do this. And it's like, it doesn't feel like it's being said in the moment whatsoever. It's very strange.
It's very unhuman-like of her.
And some of that too is like if you remember in the Phantom Menace trailer, you will hear the Queen's lines not modulated down. They used a pitch shifter and made her voice deeper.
Yeah, it's weird. We'll fake them out. Like, who cares?
And it doesn't help. It doesn't help the performance, honestly.
Right. So here's a note about the sculpted heads. Also to work for field shots. Follow design and camera POV 1 illustration for look of head. So, yeah. So this is the field shots. This is when they're fighting.
Right.
Right. The Gungan battle. They can reuse these heads for that shots too. So.
Do you guys know if in that shot, for instance, in Return of the Jedi Special Edition, where we see Coruscant and Naboo and all that, you know how it's sort of like the camera is sort of doing a downward spiral in a way, and then it's like it intercuts into the same motion onto another planet or whatever, like it does like that kind of thing. Does it have a name? Was that invented here?
I've never seen anything like it. You know, like it's not a crane shot.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a truck in, a truck out. It literally is this. I really think I think it's the first time I've ever seen anything like it. And it's so signature to this film where it just has that, right? And then, like, and there's nothing like it before that. That's is it the Lucas shot? I don't know, man. Like, what do you call it?
Yeah. Or if it's not, where did he get it? And if anybody knows, let us know. I'm curious.
And I think it really stands out in those films too, because for the rest of the way, when the cutscene, it's just swipes across the screen.
Yeah,
it's not a bad. I do think that it sets up the locations really well for geography.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The problem is he does it in scenes where people are talking too. Like, that I don't want. Yeah. But that establishing like truck in from a camera, like a 3D dimensional, like I like that. Actually, and I really wish some of the movies would use more of it because everything starts to look the same. You know what I mean? When you're kind of jumping.
Well, then I guess some of the Harry Potters probably use that too. Now that I think about it.
But this predates Harry Potter.
Yeah. So
there's a I think I've talked about it before. There's a documentary somewhere on YouTube about Kurosawa and the use of backgrounds, and it talks, and it like goes into like how Kurosawa will like use seasons. And like in Seven Samurai, all of the seasons are shown throughout the film, but he'll use things like a field on fire in the background to depict emotions that are going on with the scenes, and it paints like a deeper picture. And the documentary rips Joss Whedon a new asshole.
Oh yeah, that's a left field.
Because it's like he does that floaty camera thing in scene, and the background's like what? And it has nothing to the motion of the camera has nothing to do with what's going on in the picture at all. It's just like appealing to ADHD or something that you know what I mean, that our generation has.
Yeah, that is something to be said. You know, and this is something that I didn't come to with art until later in my career. I'd say maybe 10 years ago. I really like
ADHD. Go on. Sorry.
But it's that rather than trying to draw, here's all the things I can do as an artist. Here's all the cool things I can put into a shot. Is trying to say, okay, what is this shot? What is the emotion I want to resonate from the shot? Right? What is the feeling I want this to convey? And everything I draw helps to convey that feeling rather than trying to draw everything to show off what I can do. And
Right.
that is sort of like the difference, right? Like Kurosawa is painting a tone and a feeling, and he's using all these shots to convey that tone, as opposed to, let me put a 3D camera and shove as much shit into the scene as I can to show you all this cool stuff. Right. I think Lucas is somewhere in between. Obviously, the prequels are less emotional, right, in that respect, but it's not that he's not trying to convey emotion either. You know, I don't think he's purposely trying to... He's definitely trying to set the scene, but I think that because they were doing so much mixing of techniques between digital and practical and physical, it's probably a little more difficult to attain that without it looking painterly. Like I'm thinking of, what was the movie Kurosawa did? One of the last ones that Coppola and Lucas and Spielberg and them produced or distributed. It was very painterly. Ron? Was it Ron?
Yeah, Ron.
Yeah. And that has like this giant volcano and, you know, like, but it's very, because the use of color is so stage-like,
right,
it wouldn't give the depth Lucas was looking for. I don't think they attained that feeling until episode 3. The lighting on Coruscant specifically, like they're able to do that there. But
I remember with episode 3, the big difference was that they had come up with some kind of new technique for giving like depth of field, and in that it made those city moments just really get bigger.
Jesse's just like, he's doing all that. It's like when you work on a droid and you see it through the droid's eyes.
C-3PO.
When BB-8 gets molested, it looks like this. Like,
My name, Babu Freak.
Babu Freak.
Just hold still. It won't hurt.
Babu's a freak in bed, dude. Apparently. Oh man,
No,
why did I make those jokes? Why did I do that?
I got a new condenser mic coming, so
it's all good, man. So this is the actual physical shot.
that's cool.
That they actually built, you know. And
Is that Rip Taylor over there?
this is John Lasseter right here. We could tell by the look at the space planet Hawaiian tea, yeah. So this is actually Brian Blessed. Little known fact, Brian Blessed would love to get behind the camera and just shoot every fucking thing. And you could tell they all wore comfortable shoes.
There was this you know, in the first draft of the Star Wars, the King's, or one of the early names, the King's name is King Chaos. And there was this interview with Brian Blessed where they're all, who do you play? And he says, I play King Chaos, King of the Gungans.
King of the Gungans.
Yeah, and I'm like, was he mocking rumors of the internet at the time? Or what, did he think he was King Chaos for a time? Or did they change it? Yeah. Fucking weirdo. No, but it's cool.
This is the Force perspective. So this is why everything looks so separate, is because they're done at different scales, but in cam, right? Like how giant this tree is compared to like
they physically did something like that, I believe, with the Star Killer Forest set from the end of The Force Awakens, where they have the lightsaber duel. They did, but it was way elaborate. But they did something.
This is a prototype Kylo Ren sword, right?
Right. Foreshadowing.
This is
model shop on it.
Yeah.
I
told them to block that out. Right?
Yeah, right there we got some Devo hats. If you like Devo.
Devo, yeah, got some Devo hats. There's another giant head that'll be reused on the Battlefield chat. Right, and then down here is where McCollum keeps the stash. Let's look around.
Yeah.
Buckets and buckets.
What's under there?
Where's that packet at?
You just can't tell if it's a bag of Coke or plaster.
He's got to mix it up.
It's so important. It's so important.
It's so as good as Empire Strikes Back to get plastered. Trust me.
Yeah, blast. So yeah, but anyway, so this is actually it's not on an actual like trolley truck. This is a movable cart,
That's weird.
and it's sized to Michael Keaton. So they got to get this little like crate.
Shit.
I just can't help but make a short Michael Keaton joke, even though I'm the biggest Michael Keaton fan. But he'll act like I wonder who would win in a fight, Michael Keaton or Mansgold.
Oh, Mangold. Mangold.
I like to add the S into Mansgold, like if Jason Mewes was
Mansgold.
saying it. Yeah, because Jason Mewes adds an S to like Illinois, right? Mansgold. Yeah, Mansgold.
Mangold.
Yeah. And that's my finger right there.
Okay.
It's forced perspective.
Nice clean fingernails. So
And I should have grabbed
this,
this, but you can see the scale of that head. It's pretty fucking gnarly.
right.
So my bad, guys.
2.5 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
All right.
Yeah.
So we got more. If you want to go on to something else.
Yeah.
All right.
I
So
want to see.
let's go to Attack of the Clones. Let's see. Did we cover any of this stuff? No. So this is new. So this was concept art of.
Wait, I can't see it. No, there it goes.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a delay. So this is the Clone Lab concept art dated March 31st, 2000. So 2 years after. This is 2 years later, but this is like where the babies in the clones would have been grown. It's very Matrix like. It's got these.
Yeah, I
orbs.
was gonna say it's fucking. Are they breeding neos in there?
Yeah.
Check out the Kaminoan on the right. Rocking
He's just
it.
like, oh!
yeah,
Does-
fucking
does-
seagulls.
Does it have arms, or is that a communion with no arms?
No, this round's right there. There's
Oh.
an arm right here.
He does a Naruto run, I believe. He runs like Naruto.
And these look like I don't know if these are eyeballs or just weird.
Oh, they're little tiny babies.
No, yeah,
No.
but this right here.
Oh,
No,
that
it's just
yeah,
part of the whatever that is.
rivets
Gotta
and
be.
stuff like space rivets, as we call it.
Or if they have that like Evangelion eyeball where it looks around, right? Right. Really fucking creepy. So
That's
thought that
cool.
was cool.
Yeah,
And this was
yeah.
another take on that, where they'd be growing like on branches, and then
Ooh, the idea that they grow them biologically is pretty interesting.
kind of reminds me of that scene on Man of Steel on Krypton,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where it was like an organic biological like. Remember, like there's that in the beginning where
Yeah.
Russell Crowe like swims into that fucking weird thing, gets the skull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the one where Robin Hood's his dad?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And this was that. This is that concept. This is the concept art that ended up in the movie in a way where Daniel Logan's wearing that. This is the one that reminds me of THX 1138 in a way,
Yeah.
where they got the headsets and they're looking at TV monitors. It's not the same design, but same idea, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Whoa.
You can see like this is a 1-to-1, the same like little emblems ended up
Yeah.
on this patch. But why does it always look cooler in the art than that patch looks a little off? But yeah,
Yeah.
there he is. There's your
I-
boy Daniel Logan's.
Yeah, I actually really do like most of the scenes and the shots from it. If I had to critique anything from it, it's just that it being so weird made it look extra fake at times. But I like the weirdness, so I think I'm okay with it. But it is, I think, the one thing where you're like, that looks like a model at times, the Kamino and stuff.
Especially the stilts. There's something about the way it's on stilts that just doesn't have the weight. I don't know. It's so doesn't
Right.
give me the oil rig thing. It just looks like a thing with tiny little stilts. But
Right.
and so this was the way that
That's-
shot turned out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Look, SW2. Why don't we get this logo?
Yeah,
I like
pretty
this.
cool.
That's dope. It's very Star Toursy too.
2001.
Yeah, 2001. This is the actual.
Do you think those all those clone babies taste good if you put them in a giant cup of hot chocolate?
bro, they're bobas. They need to go into milk tea. Don't you know that?
Makes sense.
Bobas go with milk tea and ice. Everyone knows that. And this was some other concept art of them all playing The Last Starfighter.
Right.
Like, this is them making bitcoins for the Kaminoans.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really going out there with that stuff. Jesse, your background noise just jumped considerably for some reason.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So it says Jedi won't lead droids. Their
Hold
whole
on,
base.
I can do the quote.
Oh, you're George.
This is
You're
George. This is Georgie. All right. Jedi won't lead droids. Their whole basis is connecting with the life force. They just say that's not the way we operate. We don't function with non-life forms. So if there's to be a Republican army, it would have to be an army of humans.
Humans. Okay. Yeah.
That's his whole basis for the clones.
It's kind of weird how like on one hand that is like very much like a given what he just said, but I guess it wasn't until he said it. You know what I mean? It's like he has to lay it out or it doesn't count.
We don't function with non-life forms. So, hence, like there is a real like why does the Star Wars universe hate droids so much? Or do you just need for storytelling, do you need an underdog class?
I think you need the underdog class.
Yeah, I think storytelling sort of demands something to get shit on a little bit for it to do well. I don't know. Like
I think comedy is kind of like that way where like 3PO and R2 are the comic relief, so they end up kind of they're kind of introduced in that part initially, but like when you move it over to like K2SO, he's still the comic relief, but he's also like will murder you. And so it kind of like it flips it on its head a little bit in that instance. But
Jesse or Jason, both of you, like, how do you feel that played out with Phoebe Waller-Bridges' droid in Solo? Do you think that came off in a?
I really liked her droid character. I like that it was. I'm sad that she died. Honestly, I would like to see more of that droid.
Yeah, I think conceptually it works. Like, in the sense that she is that droid idea that hasn't been regulated. It hasn't been. It's an AI allowed to just spiral out of control kind of idea, but it didn't go violent, thankfully, kind of situation. So that part, I'm like, okay, I dig that. But my initial thought to your first question was, when I am cooking in the microwave, I slam that door. Boom! I'm done. Time to go eat. I don't give a shit about the microwave. And
there was something about her design that reminded me of that robot from Power Rangers.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Not that I can recall her design right now because I haven't watched the movie in like a year.
Yeah.
But I do remember when I saw it. But this reminds me of that Power Rangers robot for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does. I don't even know what that robot's called or what it does or what it sounds like, but when you say it, I can see it.
I think it's called Alpha.
What? It's called Boba. That's Boba Fett's name.
I think it's
Alpha Fett. That's why there's Omega Fett.
I think it's Alpha 1 or something like that.
Alpha 1. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Alpha Beta.
Oh, Rangers!
Alpha Beta was a store from the 80s where we used to rent Empire Strikes Back and buy food.
I looked up an Alpha Beta commercial for some reason, and because it used to be Alpha Beta, tell a friend, something like that.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and in my mind, my brain rewrote the actor who says that as being Richard Simmons. It's not Richard Simmons.
Gary.
Yeah.
Gary.
Kid Me thought that guy was Richard Simmons, and Kid Me also thought that Ray Parker Jr. was Billy D. Williams.
And I thought, get that one. Yeah.
I thought Billy D. Williams was the most talented man in the world, being both Lando and writing the Ghostbusters theme song.
Well, Ray Parker Jr. in that video is very suave. Like if you've given him a cape, it's not because they all look. I don't want to hear that, but he's very suave. Like he has that like.
He has a mustache and like the hair.
He's super smooth.
What are you doing in here?
I said that on Twitter one time, and I got called a racist about 300 times. I was 4 years old or 3 years old. It's like, no. Also, I put up a video of my son watching The Force Awake. It's on this channel.
Sorry.
When Finn pops up, he goes, done. My kid's like, he's like, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years old. He goes like super scared.
20 years from now, someone who's 4 years old when Rogue One came out is gonna be like, I thought Rey and the Jyn Erso were the same actress, and I go, you're racist. Like they're very similar. Like
we don't all look the same. That is racist.
I used to get called Milo in 2000. All right, like
Wait, like
what was I supposed to do? No, like and Milo. No, yeah, like I'm a pug from Atlantis. That was my deal. So
Oh,
whatever.
He didn't jump in the theater at that scene of The Force Awakens.
No, well, the commenters.
No, your son.
No, my son. No, he watched the trailer a lot. He was pretty excited for it. But, all right. So what else we got?
Ian McKeg. You want to read this one in your Ian McKeg voice?
The clones are treated by the water creatures in a way that's dehumanizing, much the way we sometimes treat animals. Ian McKeg. Oh, you know what? I needed Arms of an Angel playing while I read that one. But
then Ian McCain died on a bicycle.
Yeah, it definitely we definitely saw that idea expanded upon or continued through Bad Batch. You know what I mean? As they're just being treated like they are essentially property.
Especially that scene with the kids.
It's
Yeah.
my job to hunt you down.
Yeah.
Do.
Yeah, I want to see what happens to those kids next season. They have to follow up on it. If they don't, they're like jerks. Just making that happen.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
knows? I mean,
And then
Ooh.
here we have concept art for the Clone Troopers, which I thought
that's
was
pretty cool. Yeah.
I do like that. Yeah.
Dated September 20th, 1999. Between
really good.
June and October of 1999, multiple artists submitted designs for the clone armor, each of them trying to capture the essence of both the Stormtrooper and Mandalorian armors. Ed Natividad's ideas were instead used to develop the design for bounty hunter Zam Wessel. October 8th and September 24th, 1999, which is not this. We'll go up there. So
Yeah.
this is, which figure is this? I think that's this stuff right here. Yeah.
Okay.
This was ended up being used as Zam Wessel stuff, I guess.
That one on the bottom right is pretty cool looking.
This the gas mask trooper.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
reminds me
pretty
of
dope.
what they used in Solo in a way, but that looks kind of cooler still.
Yeah,
Everybody.
I imagine that sort of thing might make a comeback at some point.
Yeah.
Natividad said, for my early Stormtrooper sketch, I wanted to indicate it was a human, not a robot. So I had the mask detached from the breastplate. George stamped it okay and chose as the bounty hunter. Oh, that's that clipping, right? Like the mask can come across.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to do some modifications, but George always wanted to use more of the original sketch. Yeah.
Yeah, I one of the things that I don't like in the prequels that I think was ultimately really truly unnecessary was her being a changeling.
Oh
Like-
yeah.
Like that, it wasn't really it didn't matter. It didn't need to happen.
It didn't go anywhere.
It's like you couldn't find her in a fucking space Chili's. Like, so what? You know what I mean? That wasn't like, it didn't really matter. And yeah, and they had like a really beautiful woman playing the part, and they're like, no, just kidding, she's that monster. And George Lucas is like, and that's Marshall Lucas, ladies and gentlemen.
And bringing up like shapeshifters just brings up a whole level of like trouble, you know, like in the universe. Like, why doesn't Palpatine have some shape changers on us? I don't know,
He does.
They roll.
He does. they in Clone Wars they actually bring are they called Claudites? I think they're called Claudites. They bring the Claudite back, and it plays into the infiltration of the Jedi Temple. It's how they steal Jedi holocrons, I believe. They have one going to pretend to be a Jedi, rip it off, and then I think it dies too, though. But yeah, but I am of the opinion that it would have been much more fascinating if they had used the concepts like with the politicians. If they were like, replacing the politicians for the big purge that Palpatine was playing, you know what I mean? If there was something like that,
Like scrolls.
Yeah.
If they were, and once you introduce that, like, what if,
It's like an invasion of the body snatchers.
Maybe
right?
Chancellor
it's a 50s B movie.
Chancellor Valorum might not have done that shit. They might have just got a changeling to do it and filmed him.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Your background noise is kicked up really loud.
Jesse's making a bubble bath for after the show.
I'm serious. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Bath bomb.
It's got to be the computer. Computer's fans going like crazy.
But yeah, okay. I think we will call this one a show for the day. Because my kids are about to get out of school here pretty soon, and I think that I want to take care of business now. But I want to thank you guys for coming today, and thank you, Rob, for pulling all of this stuff, and thank you, Jesse, for letting me put stuff on your face on accident, and Rob as well.
It won't be the last time, will it?
That's weird. That went in a direction I did not intend.
I need a can of silly string just for these moments.
And wait, how do I go back? Come on, chat. You know what? There's a way to get the chat. They put show chat on the bottom. Someday I'm gonna get used to this. But Bootsy says, loved your different strokes Star Wars parody. It's even creepier than all those deep fake Snokes that look like. It's even creepier that's all deep fake Snokes look like Alan Alda. Dang, I still miss MASH. Yeah, you know what? There's this one guy too who has like fish eyes. He's like an actor, and he probably does like crime shows I don't watch, mostly in the 90s, like LA Law kind of stuff. Probably with Jimmy Smits for all I know. And I don't know the actor's name, but he looks just like him too. And I was trying to find it. I was like Googling motherfucker with fish eyes. It wasn't working. I just kept getting Steve Buscemi. But
they got good burgers.
Oh, and Star Wars Center says, "Where's Meg when you need her to comment on a live stream?" I thought, yeah, where is Meg?
Should probably make it more music.
Probably make it some mega mixes. Yeah, check it. Meg covers like every Star Wars story ever. So if you guys in the morning, so check out her channel if you haven't, and check out Star Wars Santa as well, and check out Rob at his Sketchcraft drawing show. He draws he draws pictures like Bob Ross. If Bob Ross had enough of your shit.
Bob Ross got angry and told I don't guys. I just draw. I like it like this. I work on stuff and I record it, much in the way that when I was a kid, there'd be that pizza shop next to the laundromat when my mom was doing laundry, and they'd have a window and you can watch them make the pizzas, and I just get hungry. Like,
Meg is under the weather. I hope she's okay, and it's not anything that we are all trying to avoid right now. So good luck, Meg, and thanks for the info, Santa. And I will hopefully be not on Santa's show, but hanging out in Santa's chat in the morning tomorrow. So if Santa goes live, I'll be there in the morning, and then Mr. Jesse is at the Thrawn Talk podcast. So check that out too, if you like podcasting, and we know you do. All right.
And if anyone else sees Frank Oz driving around in the greater Los Angeles area in a Dragula, or let us know.
Tell me now.
It's not about spaceships.
It rhymes, it's like poetry. It's not about